I'm live. Okay, baby, that's enough. You're gonna be up all night, little boy. Baby. Yeah, Yes, that was beautiful. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I had an emergency come up and I'm back. Okay, so where were we? In the earlier discussion, we were talking about the narcissist and their ridiculous limitations and the ridiculous blocks that they will try to put in your life so that you can continuously be nothing but their supply. For example, if you break up with a narcissistic man, he's going to try to convince you that there's nobody else ever in the world that will ever want you, that will ever love you. This is a lie. They don't have the power to put those types of limitations on your life. They want to. They want to, because guess what? If you are an empath, you are experiencing life in all of the pleasures so deeply. Everything that you experience that brings you joy, love, happiness, you're experiencing that in magnification and multiplication. Narcissistic people are very, very, very shut off. They're very shut off and closed off emotionally. You know, the things that make you happy, the things that would make a normal person happy, those things, nothing makes a narcissist happy. Narcissistic people are very unhappy people. So this is the reason why they are obsessed with trying to make you unhappy. They'll say things like, oh, you've got a goal to do that by that time. Oh, you won't be doing that. How do you take your power back from a narcissist? A lot of people think that it's just no contact. It's not just no contact. Yeah, of course you're going to go no contact with the narc. But it's a spiritual battle of your will and your power. They have told you that you are not allowed to use your power for yourself. They say, no, all of your energy and power and love and strength, it all goes to me. That's why people often experience things like fatigue and, you know, anxiety and stuff like that when they're dealing with narcs, because it's very, very mentally exhausting dealing with them. And when you do finally get away from them, it feels great. Like, for example, if a narc, like, you're just almost praying that they leave town. Oh, by the way, guys, you can actually do spells to separate yourself from the narc so that they can move or go and not be anywhere near you. Believe it or not, distance is actually good. Distance is good. If you have a narc that has a very wide social influence, okay, of over other narcs, they'll have a group of people. What I was explaining to you guys before is that they'll have a group of people, and all of these group of people will say the same thing. And you'll tell them, you'll say, yeah, but you're just 10 people. Like, you know, I'm not like a mad scientist or a mathematician, but, you know, adding up the odds of what you're saying is, you know, being actually true wouldn't make any sense. There's nobody and everybody in the whole world. And so they'll try to make it seem like this one group of people is everybody in the world. Okay. And even though they don't really have that many subscribers and it's not much going on, they'll try to make themselves look bigger. Or they may not even know that many people. They may only know 2 people, which could be their brother and their sister. But they telling you they know everybody. Well, the narc doesn't know everybody. Okay. There is a world that is out there in existence, that is out there that the narc wants to keep you from for some reason. And this is not something that's actually going to play out in your life. It will if you allow it. But the one thing that I can tell you is that it's so ridiculous, just like they'll blow out of proportion everything. Everything is blown out of proportion. Everything. They blow things up, they add things, they spin things, they lie. They're constantly telling lies. Narcissistic people are, in fact, some of the biggest liars walking the earth. They never tell the truth, not even to other narcs. You think that a narcissistic person is going to tell the truth to another narc? No, it'll never happen. I mean, these people are not capable of truth. They're only capable of spinning the truth. They're only capable of perverting the truth. Just like when you break up with a narcissistic man and he tells you nobody's going to want you, you're ugly. Well, why is it that I saw somebody that had literal facial deformities and they were able to find love? So I would not be able to find love. No, because there's something wrong with you. You're stupid. You're crazy. Nothing. And it's like, once you get away from that and you take a long time away from that, like a very, very long time, and you have to get away from them, you do. There's no debate about this. None whatsoever. Okay. In fact, narcs and empaths rarely are able to have relationships with each other. I don't believe that. I think that the relationship between the narc and the empath will never be a close relationship. Narcissistic people tend to stay closely connected to other narcs. In fact, there's a time limit that you can even spend with these people. If you have a narc parent and that parent has told a group of people things about you, and that group of people believed it, or either it's not that they believed it, they knew it was a lie, but they just, they just wanted to screw you over. Okay, it's not even about that. They know it's not reality. Just go and find somebody outside of that group. Trust me, their social influence is not that wide as they want to make it look like. So that's how they want to ruin you, is socially. That's usually what they do, because they want to isolate you. They ruin you socially by spreading rumors about you, by lying, by talking bad about you, making up stuff about you. Go and find people outside of that circle. You don't ever want to get connected or tied to anybody that is within a group of narcs. You know how you can tell when somebody is not a part of it? Is when they are productive, happy, and healthy. Narcissistic people always have health problems, always. Some kind of health problem, some kind of major health problem. And the reason why is because they're constantly dealing with drama. There's constantly this chaos in their mind that they choose to keep. Now, they know what it is. They know the evil that courses through their veins. And they don't want to get rid of it because it's their protection. Okay. Their narcissism is what protects them. Okay. So because they just don't care. These people are devoid of any love or empathy or understanding or compassion. They're devoid of that. You cannot believe the limitations that they put on you, because what they'll do is they will teach it repetitiously. And before we got interrupted in the last hangout, I was explaining to you guys that the reason why, and see, I'm getting ready to get connected with other homeschool families so that my son can be more social. Okay. First of all, school doesn't even teach you to be social. You only see people in the hallways and at lunch. But um, I believe that if they were to do research on this, they would find that when your kid goes to school, see, this is why my NARC network of people kept badgering me about homeschooling. It's like, I don't have to send my kid to a public school. I am I am more than legally able to homeschool my child. What are you talking about? It's totally ridiculous. Okay. And so when you think about the NARC, the schools actually create a person that is more than likely to be severely damaged by a narcissist. This is the reason why narcs speak things and they repeat things repetitively. The reason why they're being repetitive is because that is how your brain has been trained to obtain information. So if you were somebody that was homeschooled and your parent was not a narc, and they homeschooled you because they knew that, which more people are becoming more aware of. Hello, you're teaching numbers and words that's already the native tongue. Nobody has to teach somebody how. I mean, yeah, people, we are intelligent creatures. So they repetitively teach us language arts, which is, y'all don't even know what language arts is. Not really. Most of you in society. But when you're in school, they teach you things repetitively. What they are doing is wiring your brain to take in and to accept useless, repetitive information. So somebody that has been in school, in particular, if there was trauma at that school, in which they usually do have trauma involved, then you're more than likely to be susceptible to the narc, and the narcissist demon knows that. So that's why it's constantly saying school, school, school. They repeat the same. It's almost like these people are broken records, because they are broken. They are very much broken. Broken by the system that trained and programmed their mind to be so screwed up. And they'll brag as if it's some kind of badge of honor or that they have prestige. You know what? You send your kid to a good school, they not doing no repetition stuff. So repetitive types of learning instead of natural. Oh my goodness, a ladybug just dropped on my bed, y'all. I'm not kidding. Look at this. Where you at, ladybug? You see him? That's crazy. That means some good luck is coming and prosperity. Um, so this is the reason why we have such a problem with it, is because we are our brains are trained almost like robots, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Okay? So this is the reason why they say the same thing over and over again, because they think that if they say it enough, that you're going to believe it eventually, and then it's going to be true for their own sick, selfish purpose. Everything has been set up so the narc can have their supply. Are you going to allow you and your family to be a victim of this? I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to raise children that are highly susceptible to this. This is what is being done to us as human beings. And it's very sad. And you have the right to not go along with it. Okay. A lot of the jobs that require repetition, those jobs are going to be taken over by robots because it's not normal for a human being to be functioning as a robot. This is the reason why everybody is trained to go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock at night and then get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning with the sun so that you can go and give your energy to somebody else so that they can prosper and so that you can struggle. I mean, they make ridiculous statements. For example, you can be a very pretty woman, not vain, very humble, respecting in the fact that everybody ain't gonna say you pretty, but the narc will try to convince you that you ugly over and over again. Everything that they say, to the point where it can eventually become a curse on your mind, body, and spirit. So that's why you got to fight against it. Move around, get your exercise, get your walks in every day, do your push ups. Ladies, when you get in your 30s and your 40s, do your arm lifts so that your boobs will sit up. That's all you got to do is lift some 10-pound weights. Them things will be sitting up just like spring chickens. What they're doing is they're weighing your body down, especially if they're practicing witchcraft. Okay? Y'all got to understand that these people are damned. They're damned. Eventually, you have to get yourself to the point where you don't even think about them. Now, many of y'all have narcs knowing where you live. They know where you live, so they can mess with you at any time. You got to put up your protection around your house. You got to sage. Did y'all sage tonight? I know I did. You got to sage. Sage at night, sage in the morning. Then you also have to ignore the narc. Don't give them any supply. Starve them to death to the point where they'll get bored with it. Now, if you have an obsessive narc, then you may have to go and do some work on them. You're going to have to curse them. They're going to have to be cursed. Okay, now I am a high priestess witch, and I will tell you that I have no problem with hexing narcs because I don't feel sorry for them. They had a choice. At some point, they was at the crossroads and they said, I am going to vow to be as despicable as possible and be a disdain on other people's lives and bother them and stalk them and harass them. Okay? If you start to believe what a narc says, get spiritual help. If you start to think to yourself, I'm so alone and nobody loves me, call to your spirits and they'll lead you to the right place. I have helped so many people, you guys. It's just, I would never stop doing what I'm doing. And I've had the narcissist trying to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Of course, they're going to try to stop me because they want supply. They want as many people as robotic as possible. Sit up straight in the same position all day and don't move or cough or sneeze. You see what I'm saying? If you were somebody that is highly educated, this is why highly educated people are more susceptible to narc transmission of energy, because again, your brain is programmed to accept repetitive information as truth. It doesn't even matter if it's the truth or not. As long as it was told to you and taught to you repetitively, then your mind is going to accept it as truth. So why even go look and see what they're talking about? They ain't doing nothing but talking about the same thing. They repeat the same thing over and over again. Same thing when they come and say, everybody hates you. Well, I just, um, I just came back from running an errand to a couple of different places, and I didn't get the sense that anybody hated me. In fact, there was a couple of people that came up and gave me their business card and tried to get my phone number. I mean, so what? I'm a little confused about what it is that you're talking about. Also, the narc is impossible to get along with. Even if you're getting along with a narc, they're going to start stuff with you constantly. They're going to start it up with you. Even if they have nothing to complain about, you've done nothing, they're still going to do that. And the reason why they do that is because they have to get you all riled up and upset so that they can start implanting thoughts and patterns and anxiety and PTSD. I mean, these people are a trip. And here's the thing, in reality, they really have no power. I'm going to tell y'all the truth about the narc. They don't have no power unless you let them. If you allow the antics and the tactics that they use on you to upset you or to have you in any kind of fear, then that's when they got you. And see, guys, I do cleanses on myself sometimes twice a month. So I make sure that I put all the negative thoughts gone, poof, out of my head, anything that doesn't serve me. That's why those cleanses are so valuable. And I actually just put up 2 reviews of my cleanses. People love them. They are so amazing because what they do, because your mind is like a computer. The human mind is like a computer. That's why humans created computers. It's very similar. You maintain information. You know how when you throw something in the recycle bin and then you trash it, you empty the recycle bin? That's what you have to do with the information that they give to you. Because it's always going to come up whether or not you like it or not, especially if you've been getting this stuff repetitively spoken to you by a narc parent. All sorts of things can happen. And usually narcissistic parents want their kids to go through the same thing that they did. So, for example, if you have a narcissistic parent that has had suffered from any kind of drug addiction, they may introduce you to drugs. If you've had a narcissistic parent that has had health problems, they want you to have the same health problems. If you have a narcissistic person that has had some sort of weight problem, they're going to make sure that their child has a weight problem. And then they're going to complain about it as if it's the child's fault. It's like, wait a minute, you're the parent. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of us, especially children of the narcissist, our weight went up and down. Okay, we would get healthy for a while, get our weight down to a healthy weight. And then when they would start going through their cycles, then we pick up a little bit of weight because, that's the body's way of protecting itself. Okay. So if you've got something like morbid obesity, though, you can tell that it's a very, 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 very bad narcissistic parent that is telling the child to lose the weight, but then feeding them a bunch of crap all the time. The further you mentally get away from these people, the better. If you break up with a narcissist, you know what your best thing to do is? Find somebody else. Trust me, you can't. The narc is going to try to make it impossible. Don't even worry about whatever they're doing. They could be driving by your house. They could be egging your house every day. They could be doing all kind of stuff every day. Don't worry about that stuff. Get yourself grounded. Get yourself spiritually charged with that power of that and that strength to face it and go, you know what? Okay? They want to convince you, oh, you'll never have children. You'll never move forward beyond me. No man or no woman is ever going to want you. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And they obviously couldn't love you because they kept taking you through these horrible abuse cycles to where they love you one minute and the next minute, they're doing something, some kind of trigger. A lot of them can be very, very covert too. Very covert. Okay. So when you stop believing in the narc, stop believing in what they say, what they're saying is not reality. That is the reality that they are trying to create for you, which will never be a reality for you if you don't allow it to be. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. You got to hex them. You got to hex them. Go ahead and do it. I'm sorry. Because you know what? They hexed you. You have to send that energy back to them. You can't hold that. You can't hold on to their burden. It's not your job. They are literally creating that burden in your life or trying to. Okay. If it's a narcissistic man, you can't really fix a narcissistic man with magic without cursing him. And who wants to be around somebody that's broken? You know what I'm saying? Just broken. And I'm talking about real narcissists, real narcissistic. Will have every space and opportunity to make good with you, but they're playing games. They're using all sorts of spiritual warfare tactics against you. So I do readings for a lot of y'all women, and I'll be seeing these men and the stuff that y'all be complaining about. And I'm like, baby, this man is a walk through the park. If you don't want him, I'll take him. Give me his number, okay? Because some of y'all be really, y'all don't know how good y'all have it when it comes to a man and the opportunity that you have with him, especially if he still has somewhat of a healthy mind to where he's not trying to spiritually and verbally and mentally abuse you. And there's a lot of people out there that are not trying to do that. Okay. The narc doesn't trust anybody. Of course not. Narcissistic people, what is trust? What trust got to do with it? They're going to let you know in your face that you can't trust them over and over again. And then try to make you feel bad and say, I can't trust you. Well, duh. You can't trust me to sit around and take this crap for the rest of life. Go have your dream. Go live your dream. Don't tell them where you at. Change your location and don't tell them where you at. You've already danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. Now it's time to go. The narc will say things like, don't worry, we'll find you. No, they won't. You know that you can go and get your name changed? Were y'all aware that everybody has the right to legally change their name? Now, if your narcissist has some kind of inside connection with the courts, then in your county where you live in, where that may be a problem. Okay. Now, the narc will automatically try to limit you because if you are somebody that is trying to open up a business, okay, like for example with me, okay, I have to deal with the narc at some point because they're going to know where my business is at. Because am I going to start a business and start a botanical shop where I'm selling spiritual products without advertising my business? No, that would be ridiculous. So don't accept those limitations because they'll say, oh, well, she's out in the public eye and I know where she is. So go ahead and watch. Nobody care if you know where I'm at. Good. I'm glad you know where I'm at. Great. Okay. Did you want to have some tea and crumpets? Okay. I wouldn't take seriously nothing that they say. They want you to take it seriously. The only time narcs usually have anybody takes them seriously is if they use some kind of esoteric knowledge or black magic or witchcraft. Otherwise, nobody would pay any attention to them because they'd be like, oh God, another narc. That's how you see a bunch of flying monkeys around a narcissist because, you know, they act as if they're so powerful that they can change the course of your life. And they may be able to temporarily get you down depending on what tactics they're using. But even through those tactics that they're using, remain strong and vigilant. Keep your candles burning. Okay, I've got 2 black candles in there burning, and it's going to stay burning. I will have a black candle or either a white candle or a red candle or all 3 going in this house at all times, maybe even a brown candle. You got to stay vigilant, especially right now, because see, the narc is dying, the narc is drying up, and they don't want to lose their source. Narcissistic people can't stand them black candles, boy. They don't like black candles and sage. They don't they don't like palo either. In fact, they can't stand the smell of it. They can't stand it. Because that demon gets to active, it gets to reacting to that sage and that palo and that rosemary. You see what I'm saying? So when the narc tells you that nobody will ever love you, don't ever believe that. If you carry that in your mind, that is what's going to manifest in your life. They'll say ridiculous things to you like, you're ugly. Really? I didn't know that. I thought I owned a mirror. No, your eyes are deceiving you. You're very, very ugly. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I'll go ahead and move on and have my own opinion of myself. Thank you. Okay. So they limit you. They try to limit how you feel about yourself. Okay. They need attention. They are desperately in need of attention. Desperate. I mean, my goodness. These people are attention whores. They got to have the attention. The attention, the attention, the attention is what matters to these people at all times. They're very bored, probably because their creativity got blocked a long time ago while they were being programmed at the schoolhouse, which later led them either to the jailhouse or either to work like a slave. Okay. So these people are desperate right now at this moment for supply, some kind of confirmation, some kind of something. They're scared. Also, they're scared of Hecate. They shook. Somebody told me I was actually looking at a video that said that Hecate had came back to the earth probably like October of last year or something. I don't know. She does have many followers and many devotees that would probably say, well, but maybe that was that one person's world. But I just recently connected with her, and I mean, when I talk about the amazing results that she has given to me, I think Hecate is the go-to for the narcissist, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're a witch, especially if you are a high priestess or you have a calling to do spiritual work. So, and yeah, you will get to a point where you won't give them any reaction. You'll absolutely get to that point. When you get to that point where their little tactics, like your body doesn't react, that's when you know that you've overcame it. When they say little silly stuff and stuff that you don't care about, when your mind, body, and spirit does not react to that. Also, the cord cuttings are very important. The cord cuttings and the reversals. Once you do that, you just want to bind them and keep it moving. Hex them, bind them, keep it moving. Okay? So, spiritual work, that's what it's here for. Spiritual work and spells and rituals and cleanses and hex removers, that's what they're there for. Okay, this is the biggest thing that many spiritualists are dealing with is the narc demon. And previously we were less equipped to deal with it. Well, at least I know I was, because it scared the heck out of me. I had never experienced it like that before. I mean, the fact that they're willing to hurt children just to get their supply is just horrible. It's horrible. They are willing to go through great lengths to try to get you to react or to be upset or to be some kind of way unhappy. And when you're able to, I mean, literally, let me tell you what a narc is like. Those big, tall, blow up things that's like blowing up. And it's like a big, like, it's like a rubber statue with air in it. It's like a big balloon and it just kind of blows up and waves his arms. That's what a narc is. Walk past it as if they don't even exist. When you get to the point where it doesn't even exist to you anymore, that's when you know that you have gotten out of it, when they're not able to upset you or cause any kind of allergic reaction. Another thing, just to let you guys know, narcissists will somehow make um, it'll make your allergies worse for some reason. Because I noticed that when I was dealing with them, I mean, my allergies just got worse and worse and worse. And, because they're trying to affect your heart chakra. Shut them out of your heart. When it comes to a person that identifies themselves as being a narc, then you got to cut them off. When they are identifying as a narcissist, okay, because there's a difference between being something and identifying with it, being proud of it. Many of them are proud of it because they think that it's some kind of badge of honor. But in reality, they just don't have any life. They're not living life. You live life regardless of their antics. And I can guarantee you that it'll crush their soul. It may even crush their heart because they're in such need of control over you that if they can't control you, oh, they upset. If they can't control how you feel 24/7, oh, look, I can control how this person feels. I can do this and do that whenever I want. No, they can't. When you get to the point where you are done and you are cutting the cord, cut the cord to the narc ASAP. Do a cord cutting. Because eventually they will try to kill you. Okay, they will. These people can be very, very violent. I believe that narcissistic people are capable of murdering people, innocent people. Absolutely. Because they just don't care. They'll kill your child. Don't leave them alone with your child. Ever. I can tell you, I ain't never left my child alone with a narc. Y'all hear about these women with these stepfathers and they'll leave their kids alone with them? That ain't never happened. You don't just be like, oh, I'm just going to go down to the store and pick up this. And you go to the store and come back and your kid is huddled in the corner and you be like, what's wrong with him? I don't know what's wrong with him. He crazy. So the narc will say that. You know that they just got done abusing your child in some kind of way. And abuse can be mental abuse, verbal abuse, making your child feel as though they're less than or they're not good enough. It can be as simple as that. That's very traumatizing to a kid. So don't leave your kids alone with them, ladies. There are a lot of men out there that are not narcissistic. The narc will tell you that there's no other man, that, just him. Oh, there's nobody. That's not true. So you don't have to be single for the rest of your life either, because that's a fantasy that they have. Okay, but let me tell you something. When you let that narc know, now, hun, I'm happy. You've already been replaced in my mind, in my body, and in my spirit, and in every physical sense of the word, replaced. And he or she is going to give me everything that you either can't, won't, or maybe I wouldn't even want none of that with you. You're narcissistic. You're going to keep things in turmoil. You're going to keep drama going. You're going to keep cheating. Okay? One narcissistic tactic, and I'm going to tell y'all this, it's hurt a lot of women. Y'all ever have a narc male that you've been so good to that person and you're a good person, but the narc male will go and say that somebody that is not as good as you, somebody that's evil, that's a narc, they want to go and say that a fellow narc is better than you. Well, no, that person is just a narc. So they play that game. Well, just say to the narc, it's not like why would I even need to compare myself? Why are you comparing me? What is this obsession with narcs saying that something is better when they know that it's not? They try to mess with your psyche and your self-esteem by saying that to you, that you're lower than somebody that's very scumbaggish, somebody abusive when you're not an abusive person. The narc wants you to be abusive, because when you're abusive, and see, this is the main reason why good people need to stay away from narcissists, is because you feel good all the time. I know the past couple of days when I went up to the store, there was a guy up at the store. He asked me for 50 cents twice. I went ahead and gave it to him. That's where your blessing is going to come in. You blessed. You understand what I'm saying? But they want to make you feel as though you're not. It's a constant struggle with these people. They just want you to feel like a low piece of crap all the time. no matter what. And you can argue with them. No, I'm a good person. I didn't do anything to you. They're constantly accusing you. Accusations. Good grief. Woo sigh and let it go. Your life don't have to consist of that. This is how they get you wrapped up in their web of deceit. And the next thing you know, you're in turmoil with them all the time. And there's people out there that know how to smile. They know how to love. You just got to get off of that path with the narc. A very powerful visualization is to look at the narc path. It's very dark. It's very desolate. It's dusty. It's filled with, all kind of sludge and crap. Create another path and walk away from the narc's path and go and find your own path. My oracle cards are very powerful for visualization. And I would recommend them. I can't remember the name of the deck, but you guys have seen them. I actually did a unboxing when I got them. They're very powerful as far as with using that visualization if you're not able to do it, because, through the NARC programming, which they're much more capable of programming small children, but that's not enough for them. They want to program everybody. They want to condition you, okay? To get you to mold and bend to some, to like a psychological doormat for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're trying to mold you to be anything good. I've heard a lot of women say that they mold men. You can definitely do that, okay? But, in a good way. You should be able to mold somebody in a good way to where you're a positive influence on them. They're not going to mold you or influence you in a positive way at all. So even if you're getting down with some narcs and you sitting up there thinking to yourself, oh my God, these people are going to lead me to a path of self-destruction, then get out. Walk away. Now I'm going to tell you something. Once a narc has showed you their ugly side, never trust them again. This is the same thing as if you're in an abusive relationship with a man or a woman, and that person is either hitting you or verbally abusing you or humiliating you. Okay? Walk away from them and cut the cord. You have to really do a cord cutting. I know after I did that cord cutting, y'all, I felt so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Those cord cuttings are amazing. They are 100% amazing and 100% effective. Because the cord cuttings are necessary for the narc. The reason why the cord cuttings are necessary for the narc is because they're feeding off of your energy. So that's the reason why you want to, it's an actual cord, kind of like an umbilical cord that they will form to you so that they can just tap on you out, at any time that they want to get their bad energy or to get their energy. And, stop wasting your good energy on them. Because what they'll do is they'll convert good energy to bad. They're always going to flip it around to bad. Okay. So even if you do a cleanse on a narc, that positive energy that you're sending to them is going to manifest in a negative way. Okay. So I can honestly say that, if you are a good person, I believe that narcissistic people belong together. Let them make each other miserable. Let them kill each other. A narc does not belong with an empath. A narc does not belong with a good person. They belong with somebody that they're equally yoked with. Okay? So, if you have allowed a narc to train your brain in any kind of way, you can absolutely retrain your brain. So pay attention to my posts a little bit later tonight. I'm going to be sharing a couple of subliminals and then a couple of frequencies and a couple of things that I do. There's one in particular, which is an Archon implant removal contract destroyer. This helps or it separates them from being able to feed. But to be honest with you, just listening to those frequencies was not helping me last night. I actually had to do the actual cord cutting with it. And a cord cutting doesn't always have to be a cord. You don't always have to have a cord. You can use a candle. You can consecrate a candle. I always use 3 candles when I'm doing a cord cutting, because one candle is going to be the cord cutting energy, and then the other 2 are going to be the people that are being separated. Okay. So if you guys need to reach me for that, we got a new moon coming up on the 30th. I look forward to hearing from all of you so that you can start living life. And yes, I am living proof of that. See, the narc demon knew that I would be helping folks, so that's why it wanted to discredit me as much as possible and try to make it look like it won, but it didn't. Okay? You got to get up and sage, even if you're tired. I know that when I saged the house, it made all the difference. So make sure that you're doing your saging of your homes. But that energy, especially if it's been a long-term, application of those bad energies, you're going to need a candle. You're going to need a fire. You're going to need a fire ritual, which is basically what the candle is. Okay. So if you guys need to reach me for spiritual work, the link to my website is below. Hello, Heart of Gold. Hello. The link to my website is below. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Of course, I can't help everybody at the same time. And it's not even, because right now I'm running my business by myself, but I do have a partner that will be working with me very soon. So he's a practitioner as well. He's a healer, an empath, and an extreme sensitive. Okay, very extremely sensitive, and he's going to be working side by side with me. And not just working with me, he's going to be my husband in a hand fasting ceremony, not in a government marriage. Okay, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, sometimes the narc, when they think that they got you, they don't. They think that they have convinced you that you are their only choice, which is so childish. Okay. So pretty soon I will be growing, because I'll have a helper that's going to be able to do rituals, with me, as well as, helping me run the business, like the shipping that it requires and the emails and all of that. There's a lot to my business. And so for me, I had to block narcs out, because all they want to do is distract, because they don't have nothing else better to do. What else they got better to do? Trust me, they don't have anything else better to do but sit around, twiddle their thumbs, and think about you. Okay? You don't have to think about them. So if you're feeling like you're thinking too much about a narc, get a cleanse. Okay? They make all the difference in the world. Because sometimes it can take way too long. Narcs know that they're doing damage that could take you years to recover from. But when you get spiritual work, literally it cuts that time down to months. Okay. So y'all have a wonderful Friday. Is it midnight yet? All right. Y'all have a wonderful Friday. Love and peace and blessings to you guys. If you have not called to your spirits and said, bring in the good spirits, whether or not you believe in fairies, because when stuff gets too bad, I will call to the fairy realm. And I know a lot of people don't believe in that, but it's real. Fairies are absolutely real. That's why I had that ladybug on my bed. So they've been showing up and showing out like crazy. Okay. And if you feel like you're so broken and broken down to where you can't do it, then we can do it together. I can be your support system. Okay. So I'm okay. I'm not connected with any narcs anymore. I know a lot of people was probably like, because it appeared to be positive for a minute, but it was a trick. It was a joke. Okay. So now I'm back at 110%. Okay. So I will see y'all later. I may come back a little bit later to do some readings depending on how I feel. Probably some Saturday readings. To be honest with you, I think I'm going to do a few voiceover readings for the channel because I have not done that in a while. And since I'm waiting on a part for my computer, I actually have a computer. I just need to get, it's not a part, it's a disc. I got to get a reboot disc for my computer. So I'm waiting on that to get here. Until I get that here, I'm going to have to make do with my phone. And I do have a movie maker on my phone that will allow me to record readings. So I think I might go back to the drawing board. If you look at my earlier readings, that's how I did my readings. Okay, so if you guys are interested, you can watch those. But like I said, I do have the fall readings coming up, and I might go ahead and do my fall readings like that, to be honest with you. Because I need to get started with those because we're almost at fall. Okay. So hit that bell notifier so that you can be alerted to the uploads. I'm getting ready to start punching out readings. We are in Virgo season. I love Virgo energy because Virgo energy, the good side of the Virgo is where you can be you can be productive creatively. And then also it's a very grounding energy. This is my favorite time of the year anyway. I love September. September is my favorite month of the year because it is just, I mean, I love September. Okay. So I got those going up. I'll see y'all later though. Okay. Peace and blessings. Love your family. Hug your family. Okay. Hey, Gabriella. Yes. I love that Virgo energy. Yes. All right. So I'll see y'all later. Love and light.